Hey, I just want to say that if you can hear a fan the entire time that I'm filming this video, I'm so sorry. My room is in the basement and it is minus 30 degrees out right now. So I have this heater running. I don't know how long it's going to be running for, but it is cold enough that it needs to be running right now. And before anyone says, hey, why don't you just like wear something warmer? It doesn't matter. If the heater's not on, I'm gonna be cold no matter what I'm wearing. Trust me. Hi, I'm Comet. And I blew up for the first time on TikTok when I was like 16. And I've made several attempts at kind of making a YouTube debut over the years. And still, I'm 20 years old and have no idea how to make a YouTube introduction, so that's what you're gonna get. I blew up for the first time on TikTok when I was 16. I've been kind of making TikTok videos since I was 15. Now, very recently, with the looming threat of the TikTok ban in the US, even though I'm Canadian, I decided that I would just transfer a bunch of my content to YouTube because of the threat of the ban, but also just in general because I wanted some place for these videos to be, because that is 5 years worth of stuff that I've made, and I just kind of didn't want to lose it. Now, because of this, I very suddenly found that I gained a decent amount of followers on YouTube as well. And I originally thought that it was a lot of people just coming from my TikTok and finding my YouTube, but after a certain point, I realized that a lot of you are actually new to me as a content creator. And that's really cool that I have kind of a new audience to get to know me. But because I uploaded almost 5 years worth of content onto TikTok, that left you guys with a lot of questions about what my deal was and not a lot of answers. So a few months ago now, I'm so sorry it took me so long to get to this, I made a community post and was like, hey guys, if you were interested in a Q&A video, please leave your questions under the post. Now I will say, I got a lot of questions, so I kind of picked out the ones that I felt were best to have in a Q&A video, and you wouldn't really be able to get on any other video. So not everyone's questions are going to be answered. A lot of the ones that I will be answering are going to be more specifically related to who I am as a person, but I am open to doing another one of these Q&As and to doing more specific videos about other questions that I was asked that I don't get to in this video. That out of the way, let's get into these questions. The first question that I felt was the most appropriate to put is who/what inspired you to start creating content? So honestly, that's kind of a long answer. Again, I'm open to talking more about this, but I would say, to keep the answer kind of short, the biggest inspiration for me to at least start making content the way that I do now was Thomas Anders. And I've talked about this before, but both the way that he does his short videos and his videos like Sandersides were a huge inspiration to me making the content how it is now, and inspiration for a lot of the ideas that I had when I was first starting out. Like, no lie, if you guys know about my Clueless series, Ember originally started out as my Sandersides OC because it was my version of my creativity. Even down to her name and everything. That was originally gonna be kind of a Sandersides OC thing that I was doing. And then it evolved into who she is now, which is very fun. Next question. These next couple are kind of all related. Pronouns. They, them. How did I figure out my sexuality? So I was 14 and I went on a date with the person who would become my first girlfriend, and she kissed me. And in that moment I realized, oh wait, I like kissing women a lot more than I like kissing men. To go along with that question, how did I figure out my gender identity? I read Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard. Okay, real talk though. A lot of people ask me about advice about being queer and about kind of my journey of coming into my own queerness and how I figured out my identity and such. And I just don't feel that a Q&A is really the best place to answer those kind of questions. I am open to at least try to do my own separate video about that subject if that is something you guys would want to see. I can definitely try. I just, like I said, don't think that a Q&A video is the best place to do that. And I honestly think it would just take up a good portion of the video, and then this video just wouldn't even be a Q&A anymore, so yeah. How many tattoos and piercings do I have? Okay, 4 tattoos. In order, I have my Ophiuchus constellation. I have my sun tattoo. No, it's not the anti-possession tattoo from Supernatural. It's the sun tattoo. My Bucky Barnes star tattoo, and then my 4th tattoo is on my thigh. And I don't feel like taking my pants off to show that, so I'll just put up a picture somewhere around here, I guess. So yeah, those are my tattoos. Piercings, I have 6 technically. So I have my earlobes pierced. Got those done when I was 6. I got my nose pierced, which I got done when I was 15. My septum pierced, which I got when I was 16. And then I got my cartilage piercings, my 2 cartilage piercings here, which I got done last April, so I would have been 19. And if anyone wants to know about this, this is just a cuff that's a design of the earrings. There isn't actually a piercing here, it just looks like there is. Of course, I want many more. I actually am planning my next tattoo as well. It's just, oh boy, they are expensive. If anyone's noticed that there's been a couple shifts in the camera angle and stuff throughout this video, it's because one, I realized I lost this ring and then panicked and tore apart my room trying to find it. Then I messaged my partner about it, and so then I just stopped recording to answer a voice message from him because I wanted to make sure that he wasn't like, "Are you good?" and then just getting silence from me. Because I just sent him a bunch of videos where I was like, I am losing my mind and tearing apart my room because I don't know where this is. So anyway, moving on. I'm kind of like grouping them together. So this one is kind of a lot about like my aesthetic and stuff, I guess. So people want to know, how do I do my hair? So in terms of the color, I know people have asked about the color. I dye my hair myself. I have not gotten my hair professionally dyed in I don't even know how long. I was a kid. Like I think I was maybe 8 would have been the last time I was ever like had it done professionally. Started kind of dyeing my own hair when I was 14. This looks specifically black hair dye, bleach. I don't use toner, I just use purple shampoo to get it this kind of ashy blonde that it is right now. And for the various like colors that I've done, it's been mostly Manic Panic Vivids. As for how I do my hair curly, oh my god, if you can see, it's actually driving me nuts right now. My curly hair routine is a whole other beast. And honestly, half the time I don't even know what I'm doing. I just know that when I wash my hair, it takes me well over an hour. What is my haircut called? I cut it in my bathroom when I'm annoyed with it. I haven't got my hair professionally cut since I was 17, and that was such a horrible outcome that I have refused to go back ever since. So, the joys of having curly hair. My favorite look I've done with my hair, this one, absolutely. This general length with the black and white is my favorite. It's why I've had it for so long, because even like when I branched out to other colors, I was like looking at my old pictures of me with the black and white and missing it. Yeah, so the general length I have it now, and the black and white is my favorite way to have it. It's the reason I had it for like 2 years before I even tried to change it, and the reason why that only lasted a couple months before I went back, even with all the damage it did to my hair to get it back to the blonde. And then what is my natural hair color? It's brown. I don't know what it would look like if it grew out with like sun bleach and stuff though. A bunch of people have asked some variation of the question of what my favorite books are. I'm gonna give you 4. Most Ardently by Gabe Cole Novoa, which is a queer Pride and Prejudice. I read it all in one day. Like I got it, got home, and didn't stop reading it. And I've said it to everyone who I've ever told about it, that I read it and then all I wanted was to find another book that would make me feel the way that it made me feel. Bury Your Gaze by Chuck Tingle. I got it and I fully thought it was kind of like inspired by like the supernatural Bury Your Gaze thing that they did. But it's, in a way it feels like that, but it's so much more than that. It's a horror book, and kind of the twist at the end and who ends up being the bad guy of the story was like shocking, but also so well done. And I really, really love Bury Your Gaze by Chuck Tingle. Highly, highly recommend it, especially if you hate AI and you like horror. And then one that I read really recently, which is Come Out by Natalie C. Parker. Again, horror. I really love horror. All of them have queer aspects too. Most Ardently and Bury Your Gaze have queer main characters. Come Out, same thing. And again, horror book. It also has like a good old splash of like supernatural amnesia in there. And it's very well done. One of my favorite authors reviewed it, Mason Deaver. So yeah, incredible. My partner got it and we read it like around the same time. I read it in a day. I was like hooked from the very beginning. So yeah, incredible book. And then after that, I Wish You All the Best by Mason Deaver, which again, a queer book, queer author as well. It is getting turned into a movie pretty soon. It's about a non-binary teen who gets kicked out of their house by their parents after they come out and then moves in with their estranged sister. And yeah, that's kind of the whole book, is just them figuring themselves out. Very, very good. My favorite book series are probably either the Sun Bear Trials duology or Six of Crows. No, I haven't read the entire Grishaverse. I don't know if I ever will. I do really love Six of Crows. So, my favorite musical. Okay, real quickly. Now, several of you have probably seen this hoodie already. But this one, I think this and Be More Chill are the only musicals I have a hoodie for. I also got the playbill here. Yeah, hands down, Hadestown is my favorite musical. I cried so hard when I went to see it. Oh my god. Incredible. It's so fun. I love it. Now, I will say though as well, as I just mentioned, Be More Chill, it does have a special place in my heart, and I think it always will be. It is the only musical I've ever seen on Broadway, and was probably the musical that got me into musicals, which is very funny because I know that a lot of like people really hate Be More Chill, and there's like a joke I've seen among like theater kids of like, you know, we were theater kids at the same time, how did we not know each other? Oh, you probably liked Hamilton, I liked Be More Chill. Oh, we hated you guys, we hated ourselves, like that's but I really like Be More Chill. My comfort characters, gee, I wonder. You can kind of see who's back there, but of course I've got two Buckies right there next to it. You can't see it, but that is Deadpool and Domino. Of course, we have Captain America. On the wall you can also sort of see, and sometimes you can see in my videos, that I have a Catra and a Dora on there. Some people have clocked that I have a Castiel with rainbow wings on there, so of course. One that doesn't come up often, but is, I do also have a poster for, right over there, Peter Parker. And then, along with Castiel, Dean Winchester, of course. And then, lately, Evan Buckley has been a big... Buck and Eddie have both been big comfort characters for me. So for some reason, someone asked me my all-time favorite ship. Don't make me choose. I won't do it. I won't, no. They all have their own merits, and they all bring me joy for different reasons. Don't make me choose, guys. Plus, I have ADHD, and I cycle through fixation ships that I like more at certain times. Like, I can't choose. Someone specifically wanted to know why I like Bucky Barnes. I thought this was funny enough and, like, personal enough to include in this video. So, the answer is I have an affinity for characters who get brainwashed or amnesia. It's just something about a story about someone who is forced to be someone they're not and completely stripped of their identity over and over, but still manages to find their way back to themselves, just speaks to me. Hence the tattoo. Do I have a favorite skit I've made? I think, in terms of my fandom skits, my favorite is probably the scene I think should have been in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I've cried both writing and filming it, and honestly I think in all of my skits that is probably the best acting I've ever done, which is unfortunate because I realized after I'd finished filming that pretty much the entire time that you couldn't see my face when I was like full on tears streaming down my face, but I didn't want to refilm it, so you just got me kind of like face covered, sobbing, crying my eyes out. But yeah, I think that I did a decent job with it, and I think that is genuinely a scene that Bucky deserved to have in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. After that, I would say the Swan Song Destiel Fix-It skit that I made. I don't know. I really liked that one. Still on Fandom skit specifically, I had a lot of fun filming that one buddy skit of the "Are you hitting on Buck for me?" That one was a lot of fun to film. and I really liked the end product of it too. And then in terms of like general, like non-fandom specific ones, I would say the How Would You Feel If I Banged You Against the Table Min and Ember skit, because that is the one that sparked me creating this whole universe. And then the Pink Pony Club Ember video I did, I put so much time and energy into that one. I think it took me like over 3 hours to make it, and then it flopped so hard, and I was so sad. Favorite characters to make skits about? Spider-Man is always fun. Bucky Barnes, of course. Castiel, of course. I love doing my shitty Castiel impression. Because I, at 16 years old, spent a little too long trying to figure that one out, because that was when I was first hyperfixated on Supernatural, and oh my god. I was in voice lessons at the time, so I was like, yeah, I can do this. I can do this. I cared about the whole world because of you. And then Buck, definitely. Yeah, I think that's pretty clear that I like doing videos with Buck. I've talked about how I identify with Buck a lot, so I like to give him, I think there's a lot of things that I've done that definitely he could do, and I think it's very silly. He's a fun character to project onto, is what I'm saying. Do I have plans for more Clueless videos? Yes. So I am actively working on the story to hopefully turn it into a book series. The goal is something similar to Heartstopper, but definitely aimed at an older audience. So like more for like college-aged and older type of audience. It's a more new adult than young adult, technically. The main issue with Clueless videos is that they take so much time and so much energy to film compared to my other videos. And generally, they don't do as well as my other videos do, so I don't feel like I can always afford to put the time and energy that I need to make those videos happen. But I am trying to write more for them, and I do hope to do more with their story and their characters as well. We're gonna get into some questions about my partner, I guess. So people want to know about Jasper's pronouns. This is a thing that's come up before. This is something I've gone over before. There should be, it should be easy to find that video. I'm pretty sure it's called something along the lines of Let's Talk About My Partner. So I've kind of already answered a lot of the questions people had about my partner, so hopefully I don't have to spend too much time talking about it. Not because I don't want to, but just because, again, I feel like this would make this feel less like a Q&A video and then take up too much time in the video. So yeah, Jasper pronouns are he, they, they're pansexual, identifies transmasc, genderqueer. How did I meet Jasper? Make a long story short, they offered to make out with me in Stucky cosplay, and when I was on a live stream on TikTok. And then I checked their profile and I thought they were very pretty. And we realized we were going to the same con in a couple months. Next thing you know, we were sharing a hotel room at this 4-day con with only one bed. And the rest is history, as they say. There's actually a lot more to it, but again, I don't want to spend too much time on one question. Anyway, if I could describe myself in 3 words, what would they be? Gay, chaotic. This is technically 2 words, but probably caffeinated. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think I spent enough time thinking about myself to do that one, man. I'm a chaos gremlin and I'm gay. That's basically my life. I can't even in my like bios on my various social media platforms, I can't stick to 3 things. Like, what was it? Short, gay, addicted to caffeine. Like, if addicted to caffeine was 1 word, I guess short, gay, addicted to caffeine. But also I feel like addicted to caffeine and chaotic could also go into one. So, yeah, I guess that works. Short, gay, and addicted to caffeine. But pretend addicted to caffeine is 1 word. We'll make it a word. It'll be fine. If it was up to you, who would have sacrificed himself for the Soul Stone? The goddess that is Natasha, or the in and out of retirement Clint? Okay, cool it with the Clint slander. I actually really love Clint. And I will not answer this question. I refuse, because you wanna know what? Fun thing about this, a few years ago, my best friend and I did that quiz of which MCU duo are you and your best friend, and we got Clint and Natasha. So now, ever since, whenever the discussion comes up that we're Clint and Natasha, we end up getting in an argument over who would die for the Soul Stone. So like making this decision is also like making the decision of which one of us would die, and there's been like a general consensus that I'm probably Natasha between the two of us if one of us is Clint and one of us is Nat. But also that means I'm dying. And I know that they would not have that. So anyway, I refuse to choose. And either way, they have their own, like, if we're thinking specifically about the MCU, I would have an issue either way, especially because neither Clint or Natasha got any sort of solo thing until after Endgame anyway. So either way, it kind of would have sucked. Moving on. Not a question, but I did a split dye on my hair because I thought you made it look cool. Well, obviously, I make everything look cool. I'm kidding. But, awesome. I hope you love it. I love my split dye, if you can't tell with how long I've had it. Though you guys actually probably don't know how long I've had a split dye. The first time I ever did a split dye, I was 16 and I did it for a couple months. And then I fried my hair and just cut off all my hair. But I did a split dye after that when I was 18, and I've had it ever since. I'm 20. So, that would have been 2022. So we're going on almost 3 years of a split dye. So, I hope you love it. I love my split dye. I think it's fun. Yeah, but also thank you because I also think it makes me look very cool. I also think it look words. I also think it makes me look very cool, but you know, that's just me. I don't know how that translated to other people. I saved the best question for last, which is just women? Yes. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Hopefully this helped you understand me as a person a little bit better and maybe explained a few things about why I am the way that I am. I don't know. I honestly kind of forgot all the questions that I've answered already, so I don't even know if this is going to give you guys a good insight into who I am as a person. I feel like there's a very real possibility people have also asked if I was neurodivergent in any capacity, so if I did get that question, which I don't think I did, oddly enough, but yes, I am. I am, I was going to say canonically ADHD. No, I have an ADHD diagnosis, so, um, you know, hopefully that explains some things that may not have been made more clear with this video. Yeah, I don't know how to do an intro. I don't know how to do an outro. I don't know when that's going to change. I don't know if it ever will. We might just sit here awkwardly as I try to say words that make sense for the rest of my career as a content creator. Who knows? But if you followed me recently because of my YouTube, if you've known me from TikTok from when I started, or you fall somewhere in between those two categories, I hope you enjoyed this and I hope some of your questions about me have been answered. And yeah, if you want to see another Q&A, if there are any of the questions that I've talked about where I have said that I would like to do just a more general video specifically about that you want to see, like I mentioned, advice about being queer and coming into my own identity as a queer person. If you want to see a video like that, let me know in the comments. But for now, I think that's it. That's all. I'll see you sometime.